Alright everybody, we're up here at the lumber kiln. It's the Monday after Easter 2020, and we're fixing to put a load of lumber in the kiln. First load ever. Not real sure how it's gonna go, but we'll probably be up here every hour and a half or two checking on it, making sure everything's right. Trying to get you to where you can kind of see. Well, I'll walk you around and tell you about it, how we built it, and things like that. Alright, first off, I'll start with the chamber. The whole building itself is 8 foot deep by 20 foot long, and the back wall is 6 foot high and the front wall is 7 foot high. We built it to where it would be kind of portable. We built it on long 4x4s and put piers, you know, every couple of feet. There's 5 piers over a 20-foot span, and we got 3 sets of them. We only put 3 piers on the back because our load is going to be within the first 5 foot, so we didn't worry. That's not going to be load bearing back there, but we did beef it up under the front. Now around back we got a box, and that houses our control unit. Let me see if I can, we got it kind of weatherproof right now. We still got a few details we got to work out, but anyway, there it is. And here's the box that powers everything. I got it all off right now. Well, no, I got it on. I just ran it a while ago before I started making this video. I can't cut it off though. See that light switch back there? That is our switch that controls our auxiliary fans. And this is ran, I believe it's number 6 wire right here. I don't know how many amps it'll tote, but a lot more than the 40 amps that the unit calls for. This is a 220 volt unit, and it's supposed to dry some wood. That right there is our intake vent. That lets air come in. If the kiln gets too hot, it came with an exhaust fan. Now you can see over there, that's the fan we were just at, and on the opposite side of the truss here is the other. This is the fan that kicks on if it gets too hot. That fan blows out, it pulls this louver open, and then it pulls the suction on this room, and then this vent opens to allow cool, fresh air in to get the temperature down. Here's our, it came with 2 of these auxiliary fans they recommended. I mean, I think we built this kiln by the book pretty much. We had to do a few things a little bit different than the book said, but we built us a truss right there. We got about 5 feet, 5.5 feet worth of chamber space out here, and it should be plenty. I think it'll hold a lot of wood, more than we're going to need to dry anyway. And the chamber itself is not, it won't hold enough wood to overload our unit there. We underbuilt our chamber as far as size goes to our unit, so we would you know, it'd be able to keep up, and it would never get in a bind. Now this is a Nyle 200S 40 amp, and basically all it is a big heater with a fan that circulates air. It draws in there, blows up this way, and then, let me get back here, these auxiliary fans here and down there are supposed to take the air when it comes up, blow it that way, and it gets sucked back through the lumber pile. So it's a constant circulation of air. And when this thing has got a heater down in there, when the heater kicks on, that gets the the temperature up to whatever you set your bulbs over there. There's a wet bulb and a dry bulb. And it's got all the settings. You know, it comes with a good book with some decent instructions on how to run it. And it just gets hot. And after it gets up to temperature, the little pump kicks on and it starts circulating Freon through a coil. And when the air passes through, the hot, humid air passes through this cold coil, it condensates. Just like a cold glass of tea on a hot day condensates. All your humidity in the air condensates right here, drops in this pan, and runs out. Now they called for a P-trap, but I couldn't find one, so we just made us a little loop. It'll do the same thing. So that's basically how it works. It's a glorified, expensive dehumidifier. Now, like I said, we got a few little fine details we got to finish up. This is our access door. These doors right here, that was the most challenging part of this whole build, was building an 8-foot door, or 8'6" door that wouldn't sag when you opened it. And it's got to be heavy enough. You know, it's got to be big enough and insulated enough, so it's going to be heavy. And you build a 2x4 frame door full of insulation and styrofoam and spray foam, and try to make it to where it won't sag. That was a challenge, but we got it. They close up airtight, and we're happy with how it turned out. Now, this yellow pole right here in the middle of the chamber, we got it kind of hinged up there, and its main purpose is to hold that roof up. That's a 17-foot span with nothing under it, and it wasn't sagging when we built it, but we knew that it would over time, so we just built it to where we can swing it up and hook it up there out of the way, where we can load it and unload it with a tractor, and then whenever we get the load in there, we can swing it back down and just give some center support, and that's working out really good. Like I say, we gotta touch this up just a little bit, but it's gonna work how it is now. That's our little access door where we can make sure our cup for our wet bulb stays full of water without having to get these doors open. They do good, but I mean, you open these two doors for any amount of time, you're gonna lose all your heat. So, and if I can fit through that hole, that's I mean, I'm over 6 foot tall, but I'm not very wide, or not very thick, I should say, and I can fit right through there. And that's how I'm gonna get in to check the moisture during the kiln cycle. Now, here's a very small pile of the first load that's gonna go in there. This is I mean, this ain't nothing compared to what it can hold and what it's gonna hold, but I got, that's about 25% of the oak I've got in one of the piles, and all it is air dried down to about, I don't know, mid to low 20s. And we got our book, we got our kiln schedule, our drying schedule rather, figured out. So we're gonna put it on there and put it all in there and see what happens. Now, we built this, we built the walls and the roof. We built the walls on 16-inch centers with our studs, just regular pine construction stud, built a normal stud wall. And on top, you can see our rafters up there. They're on 2-foot centers. And in every crack, in every hole, you can see this line behind me, spray foam. You get spray foam everywhere. A case of spray foam went into this thing. The bat insulation, you know, you put in between the studs, that went in there. Silicone and liquid nails on every stud, and it's really airtight. We did a lot to make sure it was built. We kind of overbuilt it. We're in South Mississippi, and it's awful hot down here all the time. We we could have probably dried lumber without any insulation, really. Honestly, just a stud building with plywood on the outside of it probably would have done us good. But we did it as best we could with what we had. And I hope this thing works good. Got a lot invested in it. A little old sawmill operation. Trying to expand a little bit, but we doing what we can with what we got. We built the floor on 2x6. It's 2x6s, you know, all the way around. Everywhere you see a lag bolt, that's a joist going that way. And we filled this thing up. We filled the whole floor up with that with the fiberglass insulation, and we put the 4x8 sheets of styrofoam on top, like we use that as paneling to cover up our insulation. So we insulated our insulation with insulation, and then we put, you know, plywood over the top of that, and then we painted the whole building. My most unfavorite process of this whole thing, and I didn't do but about half of it, was painting this cool seal stuff. We used Alumacoat roofing tar. You can get it, I don't know, at all the big box stores. Comes in a 5-gallon bucket. Stuff's nasty. You're gonna get it on you, and it stinks. It smells like diesel, but it really protects the wood. This is gonna be pretty harsh conditions in here, and it should preserve our wood, our structural wood anyway. It's gonna be hot and humid in here all the time, and that should give us a good barrier between the wood and the hot humid air. But anyway, if you got any questions, put them down in the comments. That dude right there, they didn't send very good detailed instructions on the wiring. So if you got this unit and you're looking around for all the different numbers and the tags and stuff where you're supposed to terminate all your connections, message me, let me know. I'll try to help you if I can. But there were several wires that went to it, and those bulbs, they're pretty easy. But it's a lot of math involved. You got to figure, you know, what size wire to use to run your fans. The temperature plays a big part. You know, it's going to be hot, and heat affects the ampacity of certain conductors. So you gotta figure all that, which there's tables and charts to all that. I got a National Electric Code book, and I've got all the charts and tables in it. So if you need a quick answer, just shoot me a message, and I can get all the information for you. But these fans are wired up 110. I use number 12 THHN wire, and they don't, I think the total load and temperature and everything should be around 12 amps or so. The wire is good for more than double that, and so I think we overbuilt it every way that we could to try to make sure that we can produce a good quality product. Anyway, if y'all got any questions, of course, leave them down in the comments on the YouTube, on this, under this video. Not in the, if I share it to a Facebook page, I may not see it, but get on YouTube and comment, and subscribe if y'all want to follow along. We'll be putting the process and the updates and stuff on here as we go. But anyway, we're pretty excited to get this thing loaded up. I got to get off here and call my help, because these slabs are pretty heavy. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe if you want to. We'll see you on the next one.